You guys the big boys on the server? You always going around shitting on all the other players? Are you afraid of a little bit of farming and you just want a quick and easy base to beat down that's absolutely defendable? Imagine if you could have all of that built from a shitty 2x1 starter that can turn all the way into this. Introducing the NanoChad, your group's new favorite base design. The NanoChad is cheap, sleek and easy to build, very expandable and highly defendable. It doesn't require too much farming and it's really not a hassle to put down. So we start off the tour by taking a look at one of our external TCs. In total there's actually 5 TCs that make up this base, 4 of which are going to be external. Then we've got one main one that has the main upkeep. We've gone for 2 Satori disconnectables and 2 of the ramp ones. And if we head up the floating ramp, it'll take us into our gatehouse. Gatehouse is pretty simple and it leads all the way through to our compound. Kept the compound pretty small, pretty tight. Plenty of room for a couple of large furnaces though. And on the left and right sides of the compound we've got a little window to look out, just to see what's going on outside of the compound. Now we can head through into our first airlock. The base is symmetrical, so it's the same on opposite sides. Straight through the front door we have an option to take a look at our drop boxes, or we can head through to our shell. Entering the shell you'll see that we've got space for deployables to go all the way along the floor, and on the opposite side we have space for a bedroom. If you guys are just playing as a duo, this bedroom can have one bed and some more storage, because there's another bed on the opposite side of the base. The other half of our shell is separated by an airlock that gives access to the open core and the opposite side of the shell. The opposite side of the base is exactly the same, with another airlock, a drop box and a bedroom. Again, you can add stashes inside of your shell or just more deployables. The opposite set of airlocks is actually going to lead through to our core. Simple starter 2x1 shell. The core is fully armored up to keep your TC protected, and you're not going to keep too much loot down here, it's just going to be your main TC. And keep in mind there's 4 other externals, so the main TC really isn't that useful. From each section we can head up a ladder hatch, and that takes us through to our mini open core. The open core comes with 4 turrets, 2 respawn points and plenty of boxes. There's also space for your tier 3 and a couple of lockers to quick kit. The entire open core is honeycombed from the shell outside, and as long as you upgrade your peaks it'll be stone and metal to get inside. Grab some armored doors for the bedrooms so you can use the hatches as defense mechanisms. The lockers are actually unlootable as well if you go ahead and lock them. Raiders will need to break the siren light in order to gain access to them, which could be a couple more rockets on the raid cost. These peaks are really good and they're super stable. They're going to stay up and you can easily move around your open core. Our vending machines are accessible from behind the tier 3. You can cover these by an armored glass window to help bump up the raid cost once again. Jumping on top of the workbench and lifting up the glass allows you to access the vending machines. Now we'll go ahead and take one of the 2 ladder hatches that leads up to our 3rd floor. The third floor has a couple of lockers, backup storage and some spots for batteries. It also of course gives access to our shooting floor. There's space for 2 batteries here and they're well protected by some metal walls. And the depot storage is great if you arrive by minicop. From here you can see our really good wide gap peek downs. We've got a multitude of different angles where you can peek from to keep raiders on their toes. This section's great for covering the gatehouse, or you can use it to peek back into your base after you've been pummeled. And then we've got a couple of side peeks that are also effective for looking down. Scattered around the shooting floors of course are roof peek ups. There's 4 of those in total and you just hop on the siren light and you can do some ankle biting on your roof. These are effective for of course defending a top down raid, and from this point you're definitely quite difficult to shoot. 4 of them in total again all the way around the base. And we've got a different section of wide gapping peaks that you can use. These are also super effective for looking down into the compound, and you can use the gaps in between the walls to peek out from far. Lastly we'll take one of the 2 ladder hatches that leads up to our roof. On top of the roof you can see we've used a couple of roof slants that you can use to peek out. There's also 2 turrets that cover the roof perfectly, but you could definitely add 2 more to make it even safer. We've got space for 2 windmills that you can also add, and there's plenty of space to land minicopters, scrap helis or anything else. If you do want a minicopter garage, unfortunately you would need to add one of those externally, because placing one of those would definitely ruin the roof peek ups. That completes the entire base tour. Hopefully you boys are keen on the base and you want to know how to build it. Very quickly before we break down the costs, I just want to quickly say,
Spinky is daddy. Subscribe. Yes, he is daddy.
And if you could leave a like and a comment on this video, that would help me out a ton. We hit 10k, which is absolutely sick. Let's keep going boys, we can do it. Now let's jump on to what this base costs, and it's hopefully pretty cheap. Alright, so I went ahead and took out most of the unessential deployables just to get a better view of what the cost actually is. This is actually a cheap base. If you load in the sanctuary one it'll be a little bit more expensive, but yeah. That was the build cost. Here is the box amounts. This is how many boxes of each material you're going to need to farm to build the entire base. And last but not least, this is the total upkeep that will be spread between 5 TCs, of course keeping in mind that the main TC inside the 2x1 will take up the majority of that. For starters, let's put down a 2x1 footprint. Then we're going to add a single door on one of the sides and wrap the rest of the 2x1 in walls. Just build the base without the airlock for just now because the airlock needs 2 doors, so it's going to be confusing. And then we can just build our TC room. And if you want a shelf, then just jump outside and build that. Then just slap on your doors, deployables, and everything else you'll need. Once you're ready to continue expanding, come outside of the base and place a triangle for your airlock. And we're going to have a single door on the right and a double door on the left. With of course a roof on top. Then we'll go ahead and finish off the footprint just so you can see what you need to build. So we've got 3 sets of triangles on each side. And to continue expanding, we'll head over to these 3 triangles and start building the rest of the footprint. And we'll just build that on the opposite side as well. And this is what the footprint should be looking like so far. And then we can finish off this section of the base. Remembering to have this section open so that we can go up to our open core. Now we can go ahead and build our airlocks to take us into the shell. Make our way over to the 2 triangles and we're going to place them on the left hand side. Remember that the airlock's got space for drop boxes, so place that as well. And then to the right of that, we're going to have a bedroom. And replicate what we've built on the opposite side. And then we can fill in the rest of the shell with walls. And this is what the first floor of the base should be looking like so far. Next, we're going to raise the shell up to the 2nd height. You can actually honeycomb this section if you want. Then you can add walls in for your chutes. On the middle of the 2x1 we'll add in walls. And in between we're going to do half wall, low wall. The half wall, low walls are not optional, they are essential. They allow you to honeycomb the open core, which is very important. So make sure you do it like this. Then you can also place in your lockers and your furnaces, just as I did there. Then just fill in the core and have your 2 triangles up for your boxes. These lockers can actually get a code lock because we can make them unlootable. Don't forget to place a ladder hatch frame at the top of this section, and once you've got the base looking like this, we can place down all of our peak downs. Then you can add in your center piece, with some frames on the left and right. Then we can add all of our walls plus our honeycombing on this floor. I've left a couple of door frames open, and that's actually where we're going to add in some bedrooms. We do need to fill up the honeycombing to get to this point though. And once you've done that, you can build in your bedrooms. Throw down your beds and place in a couple of drop boxes so that you can spawn with a kit inside here. Then you can add in some shelves for turrets. And then we can build a roof on top of all of this. Make sure we're going to add our triangle ladder hatch on the left hand side triangle. Same thing on this end. Ladder hatch over to the left. And then we can just place in the rest of our floors. Okay, to expand from this floor, we're going to start with our triangle ladder hatch, and we're going to place in a couple of walls. And door frames and floors and stuff as well. Airlock. Then on the side, we're going to make a roof peak up, so build that. Exactly the same thing over here as well. The next opening over in this section is going to be our door out the way to shooting floor. And then this spare square and spare triangle is going to be a battery and loot room. You can add walls on this side. Then we're going to make another roof peak up on this side. You can add a window in here for the battery. And a wall. Then just complete the loot room and you'll know you've done it right if you've got a half height shelf here. And then build this on this section as well. And we should have 4 roof peak-ups in total, 2 doors that lead out the way to shooting floor, and 2 jump-ups. Oh, and we should have 2 battery and loot rooms as well. Then we're going to spam frames in between. Then this whole area can just get a floor. Our jump-up is inside shooting floor, not from core. Before we continue, the corner squares can actually get frames that raise all the way up to this height, so you might as well do that now. And now you are ready to do the wide gapping expansion. We're going to start on the side with the airlock. This is the easier side to wide gap. Start off by placing some triangles in. And then from that point you can place a square, a triangle, and 2 squares. Just like that, we should have a line coming out. Cap it off with a triangle, and break everything else. So you can see this triangle is in line with the center of these 2 triangles. Then we're going to build back with the exact same pattern. Then we're going to create our triangle again. Then we're going to build back with triangles. And then a square and 2 triangles. So we should have this little shape here with some wide gaps on the side. Then you can break everything else. And this is what we're looking for on the side of the base. Once you got that, just raise frames all the way up. And place floors on top. That's that side, and it's super simple to do. We can build that on the opposite side as well. And now we'll do the middle section, which is a little bit more complicated. Then we'll come to the side with the bedroom, and we're going to place in 2 squares, a triangle, break the squares, and then we're going to build back. Now this is the shape that we're looking for, except we need it to be squares. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll just repeat what I'm trying to do. Boom, that's the wide gapping that we are looking for. Once you got that, you can raise frames all the way up. Just like that. And frames on this side as well. With a frame. And a couple of floors. And boom, that's the wide gapping. A little bit more complicated. You'll need to build it in twig, obviously, not with B grade on. And then once you got it down, looking like this, replicate it on the opposite side. And boom, this is what the base should be looking like with all of the wide gapping done. I'll show you guys how to connect this stuff to some external TCs plus a gatehouse if you want as well. We'll make our way over to the hard wide gapping side, and we'll do that first. Just a little connection here that leads to our gatehouse. And then we'll build the external TC that uses the ramp disconnectable. So 2 sides are going to be gatehouses with external TCs. Then on this side we'll do a Satori disconnectable with a window that looks outside compound. And on this side we're just going to do a window that looks outside compound. And then just connect it up with walls, however you'd like. Make the compound big, or you can make it tight. And then just throw barricades on top of your gatehouses and on top of your windows, and that's the compound basically completed. There'll be room for furnaces in here if you've done the compound exactly the same as me. Next, we're back up until the shooting floor level, and we're going to finish off the windows for shooting floor. Then these two triangles over here, opposite of each other, are going to be our jump ups to roof with a ladder hatch, so place that in. Then you can place in frames beside your roof peak ups, and just build them as we usually would every time. All 4 of them are going to look like this. And once your peak ups are built and your ladder hatch frames are down to get your jump ups to roof, then you can just place in all of your floors to complete it off. And that's what it looks like with all the roofs on. We'll go ahead and build our jump ups now. Alright, let's finish off the roof with some roof ramps all the way around. We're going to do squares on top of these squares, on every corner. Then off to the sides we'll do squares as well, beside our jump up. And then finally in between, we're going to be doing 4 triangle roofs. And those are all the roof slants for the base. We're going to do 2 windmill towers on this side as well. Those 2 frames are for a turret. And the final 2 top bits are for and once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully you boys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and drop me a comment down below. Man's got a bit of an illness right now, so sorry if my voice is like cracking or breaking or if it just sounds like shit. I hope to see this base out there in some servers. It's really a quick, chatty base to put down. Remember to sub if you're sound, and I'll see you boys in the next video.